All right. Hello, MNGT 301. I hope you all are doing well. I just wanted to give some quick hints and tips here for the company analysis assignment. First of all, if you haven't seen, I just updated some of the prompts here, so you've got a few more guiding questions within the broader prompt. So have a look at that. I would recommend using the Packback Deep Dive software, typing your work directly into that tool because it's going to give you live feedback and help you avoid common grammatical errors, structure issues that will lose you points needlessly. It's a great tool for that to help you have a minimum threshold of writing quality. And especially in a short course and an online course like this one, where I can't give you feedback on a first draft, there just isn't time for either of us. It allows you to get avoid things that might be picked up in a rough draft. Or mistakes that might be made in a rough draft. So I'm not going to go through these instructions in detail. They're up there. It would be tedious to go through every point here. But please have a look at them and feel free to reach out if there's anything you don't understand or you need clarification. Always happy to go through that with you. Couple things I wanted to talk about here. One of them is where to get a 10K. Two places to do it. If you haven't already tried Professor Google, that's a great start, right? Let's say we were doing Walmart. We just type in Walmart 10K. It'll take us right to Walmart's investor relations page. And right here, make sure you choose the 10K filing, right? There's all sorts of different filing documents here. If you go to annual filings, that'll give you their most recent 10K. We open that up. Let's say PDF. Some things to look at here. There's all sorts of useful information. This is the place I would start. You want to know what Walmart does. This is what Walmart says about itself, how they describe their line of business, all sorts of things. You have a nice little table of contents. In this case, it's a live linked table of contents. Have a look through here. One thing, a couple places that you'll definitely want to look are the financial statements. That tells us how they're doing financially, obviously. And of course, we want to see, are they making a profit or not, right? If they're not making a profit, that is a problem. Make sure you also pay attention to the denomination or the magnitude, right? Here it's not $15,511 of profit. That's nothing for Walmart. It's in this case, it's 15 billion, right? 15,000 million in profit. So just make sure you have a look there. So this is where you'll find that financial information that's so useful for assessing performance. And another thing you want to look at that I always, well, there's many things you want to look at here. Definitely look at how they describe their business, which they always do. Right here, they talk a bit about what they do. Great information here. Information about what the reporting segments are. Do they have different reporting segments? In this case, we can see Walmart has their super centers. They have their discount stores and their neighborhood markets, right? If you live in Thibodaux, like I do, I have one of these neighborhood markets right down the street. And then if I go down, what is it? Grand Canal Boulevard. I just moved here. But there's the big super center on that sort of main drag going out of Thibodaux there by walk-ons. So really useful to look at. It tells you about international operations. All sorts of things. ESG, this whole first section is extremely useful. And another section that's useful that you might miss if just because it is the largest document, but the discussion and analysis. This is where basically you look at the financial statements and then you look at this because this is where the Walmart execs are telling you about what happened. Why was profit up? Why was profit down? What was significant in their performance this year? And it tells you all about that. If you see something interesting in their financial statements, even if you don't, have a look here. This is a great place to start with how they're doing and answering that part of the assignment. It tells you how they're growing, tells you where they're trying to grow, tells you about strategic objectives, all those sorts of things. So really, really useful to look at. I'm even going to give you, I do this with some hesitation because I don't want it to be abused, but one of the great things about ChatGPT is that you can also upload documents into it. I'm just waiting for There we go. So if I open up ChatGPT here, it'll actually let you, and if I open up Finder, let's see what's the best way to do this. With all these windows open. If I go to my downloads, I've downloaded that 10K, and I can just drop it in to ChatGPT and ask it questions about it, which I think is amazing. Now, the thing with ChatGPT is it's really fast and it can analyze a lot of information quickly, but sometimes it gets basic stuff wrong. It's not smart. It just has a lot of memory and it's fast, which isn't necessarily the same thing. But it's getting better and better. So you can upload this here and just upload it, see what it says about it. It'll even give you a little summary about what it thinks is going on. So hopefully you can see that all typing out. Maybe I want to ask it a question. How was Walmart's performance for the past few years based on the info in the 10K? Something like that. And I noticed it searched the web there at the beginning, so I can even tell it, I want you to read the 10K I just uploaded. Now it tells me it's reading the document. By all means, use the web search as well, but sometimes you just have to watch where it's getting its information from. So now it's starting to give me some summaries. And I'm not going to do a ton here, but I mean, you can ask it just about anything about a document. Ask it to summarize, ask it for insights. But always check its work. So whenever ChatGPT, I use ChatGPT. If you're not using ChatGPT, you're doing it wrong as a student. I use it all the time with my doctoral work. I have it open in a window, but always check ChatGPT's work. So you can ask it a question, ask it to find you something, and then say to it, though, where did you get that from? If it says, oh, Walmart's performance is really good, say, based on what? What's your source? Show me where in the 10K you derived that information from. And it'll say, look at this page, look at that page. You can ask it for the quote. So it's like having a really good research assistant who makes mistakes sometimes, and you always have to double check its work. Don't just take what ChatGPT says for granted. Use it to point you in the right direction. But then go check that it's doing things correctly. It can even find articles for you. It's great for that. But again, I've used it for research and said, find me some sources. And it came up with a source that sounded amazing, looked everywhere for it, and it just didn't exist. And finally I said to ChatGPT, does the source exist? And it said, no, I'm sorry, actually, it doesn't exist. So like I said, this was a couple of years ago. I had that problem. It's definitely getting better. Ask it. It can provide you links now, which is really helpful. Give me a link of where I can find this resource. So ChatGPT, really helpful. Another very useful site that you guys have access to as students is S&P Capital. So if I go to our library website here, and we go to databases. Maybe some of you guys have looked at this before. If you haven't, great resource. So we go to the databases, we scroll down until we find S&P Capital IQ. Go there. Now, if you haven't logged in before to S&P Capital, it may ask you to register. So if you need help with that, talk to the library. I've already done this. I've already registered, so I can just log right in. So once you've figured out the registration, got that done, like I said, call the library if you need help. You get to, this is the home screen for S&P Capital IQ, and we can just type in our company here, right? If I want to go to Walmart, this might even be a great place to start, even with the 10K. Once you have access here, you can see along the top here, we've got the 10K report right up here. We've got what they call a quick report that'll download you just a little summary of sort of a banker's. S&P Capital IQ is an industry resource that gets used. We used to have it, I'm pretty sure, when I worked in a bank. And you can just get great summary information. You can go to the 10K directly from that website. Another really useful thing here is it can find you, it'll tell you, give you a description of the business. By all means, reference S&P Capital for your reports if you want to use this information. I'll talk about referencing in a second as well. Oops, there's that summary sheet popping up here. Right, here's a nice little one pager where they've given you some information, some key financial statistics, etc. If you don't know what those mean, don't worry about it too much. You can ask ChatGPT but some of the stuff there you don't need to know earnings per share necessarily if you don't want to. What is useful is it'll tell you about who their competitors are. This quick comps right there, and it'll kind of give you a list of who in this case, Walmart or whatever your firm you choose, who the competitors are. And why this is so helpful is it lets you compare the performance of your firm versus who it's identified as their main competitors. So it can kind of give you, if you look at revenue is really a marker for size, right? This is the sales. Whenever we're talking about size, usually we mean revenue. All these things here, if you click on them or hover over them, sometimes you can get more information, sometimes not, I guess. LTM just means the last 12 months. What else is useful here? Not a ton of ratios here. Let's see, operating statistics. So once you're in the quick comps, you can kind of dive in here even more with all these other tabs along the top. Just do a bit of exploring. Net income margin. This is super useful for performance. How is our company performing in terms of percentages or ratios are great because it lets you compare firms of different size with each other, right? You can compare a huge company like Walmart with Rouse's and say, well, who makes more profit per dollar? Here we see that Walmart has a net income margin of 2.92%. So for every, I guess, dollar that Walmart makes, only two cents and not 2.92 cents of that, it goes to its net profit. So not huge, but retail is not a tremendously profitable industry. Gross margins here, that's kind of the markup, right? Walmart has a fairly healthy gross margin, although Dollar General is even better here at 29.7. So look into this, ask ChatGPT, what do these mean? What is gross margin? What does it show me? ChatGPT is an amazing resource. Google as well, but ChatGPT is probably going to be replaced. Google is working very hard to improve its AI. As you might have seen there, it'll often give you an AI summary now because ChatGPT is going to eliminate some aspects of search function, right? ChatGPT or AI searches the web for you and gets you an actually useful answer faster than you going through all the results. So this is S&P Capital, super useful. Please use it. And these quick comparisons, really useful. 10K along the top here is really useful. What else might you want to look at? Key stats. Your financial statements are all along the side here. There's also ratios along the side here that you can use. So where are our ratios? Let's use Control F, ratios. There they are. Control F is our friend. Good. So go to ratios and there we go. All sorts of ratios that we can use. I'm not going to give a ton of guidance here, but feel free, ask ChatGPT, what's a good measure of performance? What's a good way to do that? All right. Anything else that I wanted to demonstrate? Oh, for referencing, Packback will help you a bit with referencing, but you also want to just, probably the best website for referencing is the Purdue site on APA. Go here, it'll tell you basically everything you need to know. A lot of what you'll be citing is either going to be news stories or reports. A 10K is a report. That's the type of document that it is, right? So another way to do it also is ChatGPT. This sort of reference research assistant stuff is great. So you can say, how would I cite Walmart's 10K? I kind of abandon good grammar even or good punctuation when I talk to ChatGPT because I'm so lazy. How would I cite Walmart's 10K? Comes up with an answer here. Great. Look at that. Perfect, right? You can almost just copy and paste it. Do check it. Check to make sure it's the right year. Check to make sure this is accurate, the fiscal year ending, etc. But ChatGPT will give you the formatting perfectly, but double check just to make sure it's accurately captured everything. Good. I don't think I have anything else to add at this point. Like I said, check out the additional prompts I've added to the assignment. Use ChatGPT, use S&P Capital IQ, use the 10K reports. And if you have any questions, if you need any extra help, start by asking ChatGPT, just because it's so good and it'll be faster sometimes than me. But also, by all means, please ask me any questions you have. I know it's kind of holiday week here, but I know you guys are still working hard. I'm not in the office, but I'll be very responsive. I can always set up a call. I'll try to answer emails as quickly as I can so that you guys can get the info you need to work on your assignments, which I'm really looking forward to reading. All right. Have a great week, and we will see you all soon.